Hello everyone there, this is Darlington Gospel again, and in this tutorial I just want to show you something simple, not complicated. This is going to be very helpful for you as you dive in deeper into Web3 development. So what is it about? Let me show you right there on the screen. Please, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please hit that subscribe, like and notification button, because there's a lot of things flowing. We have a Discord channel, you can join that, and you can follow me on social media. All the links are on the description there. All right, let's get started this tutorial. Okay, hello, this is the interface of the DApp BNB. This is like an Airbnb clone, and I want to show you how to get that whole thing together. Okay, this is part of a course. It's not free on YouTube. It's part of the series of course that I'm developing for folks that want to go deep into this Web3 development. And but I just want to show you something really cool that I feel like it will be of benefit to you. Okay, so for example, I created each one of these interfaces one after the other. Each one of these building, I added them one after the other, and you can see all this information here. Okay, and yeah, the problem with this sort of thing is that I will have to come one after the other here and add some information here. Like, this is the form that you use in adding an apartment. So for example, I could add this apartment. Let's call this apartment okay, bubble dome. All right, and the price is about 1.48, and let's add some of its images. So I'm going to copy this image address and come here, paste, add this one, also add this one. Okay, I'm gonna add all of them. Okay, faster. Okay, I'm gonna add the location, which is here. Copy that, paste that here. Just gonna shorten it to make it all right. Number of rooms, I'm saying 5, and the description, I think I'm just gonna copy this information here, paste it here. Okay, so these are the information that I'll use to create one apartment that I want to list on my Airbnb clone. So I click on add apartment, and I confirm this transaction, and it's added, of course, and probably takes some moments, and I will show you how to get around this, maybe on subsequent tutorial. I'm going to show you how to get around this speed weight. Okay, right now it's added because currently it wasn't added, but when I refresh this, it is added. All right, this is the apartment that I just added here, and you can see information about it right here. So, but the problem is, if I want to speed in my development and test out some things on the interface, I'll have to do this, adding of room one after the other and all that. That is going to take a whole lot of time, effort and all that, and we don't often have time to do all those sort of things. So you want a process that can speed in this and just populate the view for you, with data and all that, without you having to enter them one after the other. That will be very great for you. And you can even simulate, you can add, for example, each one of these building, you can add a bulk of comments around it, and even for every building, you can decide to add a comment for it. You can do this with this simple strategy that I'm about to show you right here. Okay, to achieve this, you will need some certain packages, and which we include the Faker library, which is very, very important. One of it, the Faker library. Let me show you what the Faker library is. Let's see, because the older one was removed, say Faker. This is not the one. Let me show you the one here. The one that I'm using is this Faker library at Faker. Okay, so let me bring that up for you here. Okay, this is the Faker library that you need to use. This Faker library is like a replacement for the old one. The old one was pulled out from this npm node module side, so you could not have access to it. But this one resolves that problem for you. So you need this faker library. This is what you use in generating all those information that will populate there. So I'm just going to show you how I achieve this step by step, okay, with no step missing. So let me just copy this, and let's just call this cedar JS. Okay, so in this cedar, basically what I'm doing here is I'm trying to deploy my smart contract. Okay, I'm trying to deploy my smart contract to the network. By the way, I'm using it.js for this tutorial. I'm going to remove all of this. Let me remove all of these things that I added to these applications. So I'll code all of these things from scratch. This is not supposed to be here. Okay, so hold on, sorry, let me do this. Okay, I'm gonna come here and remove these ones instead. Okay, all right, so okay, this is a standard script for deploying your smart contract to the network. And you can see, if you've watched so many of my tutorials, you see that this is kind of consistent, with the way I normally deploy my smart contract. This is just it. Basically, what I'm getting here, I'm getting it.js from Hadat. I'm getting the FS, file stream library from the node module, and I'm grabbing the smart contract artifact, and I actually deploy it and wait that it is deployed. Once it is deployed, I get the address of this smart contract and package it in a JSON file, and say write that JSON file to this specific location, and then say, oh, this smart contract has been deployed. So this is just basically what this particular deployer smart contract does. And if I run this under the hood, let me clean up this and say yarn run scripts. No, not yet. Yarn Hadat run scripts, and I want to deploy .js. Okay, but before you run this script, you must make sure that your network is running. I'm going to kill this network, and okay, I'm going to come here. Let me split this. Okay, so I'm going to start up my yarn server here. Say yarn Hadat run, no, Hadat node, sorry. So when I start that up, you see the blockchain server have been started up, and this is my local JSON RPC, and these are all the accounts that are there on the network, and so it's ready now. I can now actually run this script to deploy this smart contract into the network. And this is my smart contract here, this dapp. So I want to deploy this smart contract into the network, and how I do that is by running this particular script here. All right, so when I run it now, boom, you watch what will happen here as it's deploying. You can see the smart contract has been deployed into the network, and this is the contract address, and you can see that it was successfully deployed. So all this set of codes here were executed. All right, but the problem is when I refresh my browser here, you can see that there is no apartment here. All the apartments have vanished because no apartment has been added. So this is where I come and add this one after the other, which is very redundant. If I want to add about 50, let's say 50 apartments, and I have to add them one after the other, which will take me a whole lot of time. I'm trying to save you that process, that workload, and help you automate it, using this seeding mechanism that I came up with. All right, so this is how you do it. All right, I'm going to use faker library to generate the data and create a function to generate this data. Then I'll use this function to run a to actually add the apartments. Okay, I will use this function to talk to the smart contract to add the apartment that I need in this building, and this is how it's done. First thing first, I need to import this faker library from here. Yeah, so I'm getting the faker library because it's quite important for me to get it. Okay, and I'm also getting some vital information. For example, these variables. First, I want to get the signer. The signers are the accounts, the wallet addresses, the accounts on this network, which include all these things you see here, the account 0, account 1, account 2, and the rest of it, up to that 20 that we have here. Those are the signers right here. So I'm actually grabbing all these accounts. That is what I meant by what, ethers. You activate it by calling this ethers.get signers. All right, this one called ethers.get contract factory gets you the smart contract itself, and the it gets you the smart contract what's it called, artifacts, and so that you can actually interact with it. So but this one gets you the smart contract all the accounts on that network. All right, these iterations are like the total number of apartments that I want to add. Okay, let's say I want to add 6 apartments instead, and these image URLs are like an array of image URLs that I want to shuffle around and get all these images programmatically and assign them to those buildings, because I don't want to do that in a flat way. I want it to be shuffling, to be dynamic, as I call them. All right, and then this variable called tx is just going to be used to waiting out my transactions, and then the result we hold information about how about a result I pulled out from the blockchain. Okay, so with that said, let's move on. The next thing, I want to create this shuffle function. This shuffle function does simple thing. It takes an array and then shuffles the items inside of that array and return a new array for you that has a shuffled result. So that is what this particular function does. We're going to need it as we go on. All right, and this other function, get param, let me show you what it does under the hood. So under the hood here, you see, first of all, I'm getting a random ID. I'm actually generating a random ID because each apartment has an ID. So I'm using this to generate, a random ID for you. But this isn't super necessary because it's not really like a requirement, because in the smart contract itself assigns an apartment an ID. Okay, this name is important. I use this faker library called company.catchphrase, and it will return like a company's catchphrase for you. It's just a cool way of naming my apartment. And this description returns a paragraph of lorem ipsum for you. And this price, this is a way of faker. Actually, we're getting a number within the range of, let's make this range of 0.5 to 5.5. Let's make that within those range, and the precision is in this, that is 0.01. so that is the differences between each one of those numbers that will be generated. And then at the end of the day, I want to divide it by 100. So this will get me what a regular price per night will be on Airbnb. So the cost of a building, an apartment per night. This faker, this methodology will help you to get prices within that range. Okay, and these rooms just gonna be a faker generated number between 1 and I don't know, maybe 5 to 10 or thereabout, but this will generate the total number of rooms for you. Here, this will shuffle the signers, which is basically the account. Let's look at it again. This signer right here. Okay, these are all the accounts on the network, and then this particular process here, what you see here, shuffle signers, we what? We shuffle that array of signer and grab the first element after the shuffle. So that first main element will now become the owner of this particular what apartment. All right, and these as well, what's it called, shuffle time stamp. Okay, shuffling timestamp, I'm just going to get the current date right now, so that is date.now, and I'm also going to do it because the regular Airbnb website has 5 images per apartment. So I'm adding or pushing some images into this particular into this particular array here. I'm shuffling some images into it, so I'm just going to grab some images and then just push it in there. Okay, you could also just get a slice of this image and actually put it here, but I didn't use that method. But I'm shuffling for all the 5 images. I will shuffle them and then grab the first one and push it into this image array, so that we'll have 5 at the end of the day. So afterward, I'm going to return this data. I'm returning the ID, an object of the ID, name, description, price, images, rooms, the owner, and of course the timestamp. All right, so those are the information that I'm actually returning. So after I'm done with this, now this is like the main function. Okay, I'm going to create this function. What is the function all about? All right, so let me show you. So this function is called create apartment. This is the function that will be responsible for creating an apartment in this particular DApp application that I'm building. First of all, I say await contract function, and create apartment is the function in the smart contract, and I'm passing the name, the description, the room images. The images, actually I'm joining them and converting them from an array of 5 images to a string of 5 images separated with commas. All right, and then the rooms, total number of rooms, the price, and just send it. Okay, and the await, tx.await. Okay, I'm saving it in this transaction. This is why the reason for this tx variable, and then I'm waiting out for its validation from the blockchain. Once the transaction has been validated, okay, then it will be released. So, but this is how the function that is responsible for what? Creating that particular creating that particular one apartment for you. But I want to do this several times. Let's use this particular looping structure right here. So we're using a for loop for I equal to 0 down to what? Number of iterations, which you can find here. If we say 6 here, so the number of apartment to be added is what? 6. Okay, so it's gonna what? Create apartment. It's gonna grab the parameters that will be generated from what? This particular function. This function will use Faker library to generate all this data and return this data for us here. So at this place that we're calling this function, it will return an object and replace it here. That is what we will be passing into what? Into our smart contract, and then wait out for this smart contract to what? To fulfill. So we're going to do that for number of times that it is what? It is called, which is 6 in this case. Then afterward, I just want to show the result on the terminal. All right, so I'm just going to show the result on the terminal to show you number of apartments that have been added. So with this, it will proceed and save the contract artifact, which is the ABI, and then the contract address so that we can use it later. All right, so that is just what this script does. So now let's put this script into action. How you do it is just to run that same command that you did before. That is yarn hadat run script /deploy.js. So with me adding all these other extra forms of logic in it, I'm going to click enter now, and it's going to go ahead. Okay, so we is not defined. I'm supposed to bring in a function here. All right, so this is the function. I need to bring it. This function converts a number to what? Its equivalent in we. All right, so that is very important because that is what is being used here. All right, so to change the price of a building to what? Its equivalent in we. All right, so I'm gonna what? Run that again, and of course all the buildings have been added. You can see each one of those buildings here, and their metadata have been added. They are in the smart contract right now on the blockchain. So let me show you where it is on the internet, on my browser. So when I refresh this, you see, wow, look at that. All those buildings have been added in one piece of code, and they are just unique. You can see the name, you can see this one, frontline, tangible, blah, blah, blah. This configurable, needs-based hub. You can see different names, pricings are different as well. You can see the uniqueness of the images, everything is just cool. You can look at one image and you can see all the set of images inside of it. Very cool. And you can see number of room is 9, and it's just dynamic. This is what we're talking about. Let's look at this. You can see how all the images are also different. You can see there is 2 rooms here. All of these things, you can see the description here is a little bit different. Let's check on that one. Look at this here. Look at the description, is a little bit different now, and you can see number of rooms. You can see how dynamic this is, and this is possible because of this little algorithm that I just showed you now, that will enable you to actually seed your smart contract with vital information such as this. I hope you're finding huge value from what you just thought. If you really, once you start going deeper into smart contract development, you're going to really appreciate what I'm showing you right now. All right, that is what I got. And before I go, I want to show you this. So this is my Buy Me a Coffee account here. You can see buymeacoffee.com/dappmentors/extra. Then you can see some of my services here. I have a new book that I was just launched, very cheap here. You can buy it to advance your skills in smart contract development. All right, I did quite a lot of work on this. I need to check it out. You can buy it from here. It's cheaper here. It's also on Amazon if you want it. This is my hourly consultancy. If you want to get in touch with me, ask me questions, or want me to help you resolve something, you can get in touch with me here. And this is my hourly classes. All right, so some folks like me to teach them one-on-one. You can get in touch with me. This is what I charge hourly for that. So that is all I got for this tutorial. I hope you found this very, very useful. And if you do, smash that like and subscribe button, and I'm going to see you in the next one. Peace.